And my first thing that I'm going to do is, can I strike the tee and miss this and miss the ground? If I can do that, I'm in a position now to be successful. So I think this is a very, very useful feedback station for anybody out there. So I'm in here, I got my setup, touch my knee, clip the tee, miss the yoga wedge.
Every golfer on the planet wants to drive the ball better. Now, as we get older, this becomes harder because we lose our clubhead speed. So today, I'm going to give you a complete seniors driver guide. This is going to be your one-stop shop. Now, in order to help me do that, I've recruited Trevor Salzman. Trevor, thank you so much for joining us on the channel.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Trevor is an incredible coach. He coaches out here in Miami. He coaches golfers of all ages, especially senior golfers. So, Trevor, I think we should start with kind of concepts and setup. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think how we actually set up and how we design the shot as the player is incredibly important. So I think we both know in order to hit the golf ball higher, we need to actually be striking this golf ball on the upward motion.
100%.
Now, I think striking it on the upward motion, there's an adequate amount that we would want to see out of that to create efficient contact, launch, and spin. It's going to be kind of dictated by what the player's clubhead speed is. I think what you and I probably see a lot, both coaching in person and coaching online, is we see players that try so incredibly hard to hit up on the golf ball that we might start to see a setup that gets all the way back here, and we might actually see the club bottoming out too far behind it, and we can actually swing almost over top of the golf ball, top it, thin it, and that ends up making it launched low right there. So I think having the right amount of, I'm going to call it side bending or side tilt in the golf swing in an adequate or an appropriate ball position helps us with that. Remember, we use the golf club to hit the golf ball, so I think we need to present the golf club in an adequate fashion to make the golf ball do what we want it to do. Seeing this or seeing this it's set up, I don't think that's going to help us hit the golf ball higher or straighter or control where it's going to go. So I think the first thing that I would do is I would start with the golf club and the lead arm in line with the shoulder, and I would present that down straight in line with the golf ball. So a good reference point like we have right here, we've got an alignment stick on the ground, and that for me, I generally like to see that somewhere right around the center of the shoulder. If the player really needs to get it up, we might push it a little bit, but I don't go much past kind of the ball joint or the center of the shoulder. Now, if the player has the ability to produce a little more speed and wants to draw it, I might position that a little bit behind the shoulder. But I think a good starting reference point that works for everybody on the planet is setting this up at what I would call 0 in line with the shoulder. That gives us the ability to get the golf club, the arm, in line with the shoulder. So the shaft and the arm in line with the shoulder. Now from there, here's a really good checkpoint that I use to create the proper, we can call it spine tilt or side bend. So if I'm right in here and I take my right arm and I have this positioned on the seam line of my leg, I'm going to reach down to where I can touch my right knee. So you can see what that's doing. The center of my chest here in relation to my hips as I touch my knee, that's putting me into more of a position that I can now move up.
So why don't I get you to hit a golf shot and show me what you would do. So your pre-shot routine, left arm movement, hand on the leg, so everybody can sort of see what they can do starting this off right.
So this would be my basic guide, is I would start with the club in my lead hand. I would align it with my shoulder joint, okay? So that the lead arm and the shaft is perfectly straight. Right here, my spine is neutral. From here, I would touch my right knee, keeping the hips level, and bring my right hand, my right arm under. So now I'm in a position to where everything's square, and I'm also in a position to adequately hit up on the golf ball enough to get the launch that I need.
But nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy. I can't touch my ankle from here.
Exactly. So Trevor, you hit a golf shot here. We've got TrackMan behind him picking up the data. I've got it on the iPad. Let's have a look, see what he can do. And that is absolutely flushed, about a 2-yard draw right there. We're getting some data. So 95 miles an hour in terms of clubhead speed, maybe a little bit quicker than what some of you are seeing. Carry was 237.5. So you can see a lot of carry but you know, not the quickest clubhead speed in the world.
Yep.
Key thing is angle of attack was positive,
Yep.
plus 4.8. Awesome. Why don't we do that again? But let's do more like 75-ish miles an hour. Let's give you a test. Let's see if you can get around that sort of number. And let's then see how efficient you can be. So definitely a little bit slower there. Still got that beautiful launch. So we're going to go into how to get that launch later down the line. So 85 miles an hour. It's a little bit slower than the last one, but didn't quite hit the target. But still, 85 miles an hour, 201 yards of carry. Pretty efficient right there. Now I know there's a lot of you out there who would like those numbers. 85 miles an hour clubhead speed and 200 yards of carry. Angle of attack was positive. We're hitting up on the ball. And frankly, you're doing everything you just spoke. So clearly you know what you're talking about. Hey, let's now move on to the next stage, which is how do we hit up on the golf ball? Because I get this all the time, but not fall back. Because I know a lot of you are going to be suffering from that.
So I think a really good way for everybody out there, a really good way to practice this is to actually do this without a golf ball. So what I'll do is I'll take a tee and I will place this here in the ground, and I have two goals. My first goal is to miss the ground. My second goal is to clip the top of the tee right there. That's going to ensure that I'm creating a contact point that's high enough on the face that's going to give me contact and also the launch, because we know this face is round. If I hit it low on the face, the ball's going to launch lower. Exactly. So just demonstrate the bad one first so people can see what that looks like. So we see excessive tilt behind it. I think we see this. And you notice how the tee literally wasn't touched. So in that situation, that's where you're going to see your thin shots, your top shots, even your whiffs. You're not going to get it at all. Yeah. So now let's see the good one. So from here, my goal is going to be, again, to miss the ground and strike the tee. So I've got my setup, my knee. Beautiful. And as you can see there, Trevor just clipped the tee out of the ground. And the one thing that I would say is, like we mentioned earlier, this is a sliding scale. The slower your clubhead speed, the more you're going to have to feel like you clip it on the way up. But, you know, if you're around 90, 95, you don't need to go too crazy with it. Yep. I think it's really important that we prioritize the strike in the face over the angle of attack. 100%. Now, the interesting thing is that is actually my swing thought out on the golf course. Yep. When I play, I get a little bit too stuck. I hit it low in the face. I focus on clipping the tee. So it's a really practical thought you can have out on the course. And I think it's a really, really important commitment to actually making solid contact for a lot of you. Like that can be a very solid commitment that you use practicing and playing. Set a goal to clip the top of the tee. Practice it. So let's build on that, because I absolutely love that swing thought. So I know you want to do something with this yoga wedge. So we did this in one of our last videos with the irons to help us hit down on the golf ball. We're going to do it as the opposite right here to help us increase the upward strike or the attack angle here. So what we can do is we can take this yoga wedge, place it on the ground, and we're going to do it equally in the opposite direction that we did before. So we're going to go a foot width from the tee to the end of this. And my first thing that I'm going to do is can I strike the tee and miss this and miss the ground? If I can do that, I'm in a position now to be successful. So I think this is a very, very useful feedback station for anybody out there. So I'm in here. I got my setup. Touch my knee, clip the tee, miss the yoga wedge. Now, the one thing I want you to look at is when Trevor did that, notice how his weight was still moving forwards. So last shot was 84.6 mile an hour clubhead speed. Let's see if you can get close to that. Carry was 201. So again, we're trying to get efficient at these slower speeds. So that's a really nice strike there. As we wait for the data to come in, I want you to notice how it's not a swing that's going to put pressure on your body. It's very user-friendly. We got 85.8 miles an hour and 202 carry. So pretty identical numbers. So it shows you that you can consistently hit these numbers when out on the golf course. And like I said, the great thing is what? It's user-friendly. Absolutely. And as we get older, we get tighter. Our body doesn't do what it used to do. We've got to build user-friendly swings. Now, I want to add one more layer into this.
How can we increase clubhead speed by using a different power source rather than the body? Because I know you guys want to hit it further. You want to improve your game. So let's make sure we can give them that info.
Yeah, so if we start off with this is not a video meant to be saying that rotation is not going to help you swing it faster. Okay?
No.
That is going to help move the golf club faster. However, when we lose mobility as we start to age, we have to try and find different sources to create speed. And I think, like we talked about in one of our last videos, I think the actual release and the unloading of the golf club, you can see without me moving my body right here, I can create quite a bit of speed by letting the wrist, once they get to a straight line here, working back into a rehinge.
Yes.
Okay, working back into a rehinge right there. So we still have access to the hand speed. We still have access to the arms and the shoulders working around the spine. I think those are two really key areas against a fairly solid base.
So how can we translate this releasing the club, generating speed with a different option into a simple swing thought?
Yep, so I think our simple swing thought right in here, so we have this right here as a relationship, is once we get this golf club into a straight line, if you watch the logo on the back of my glove, that logo is going to start to move up, and it's also going to start to move around. That would be my rehinging piece right there.
And where is it pointing right here? Just slightly behind him over there.
Absolutely. Okay, so we could use the logo on our glove as a relationship for where this golf club is moving.
Love it. Why don't we hit a drive and let's see if we can get a little bit more speed. So on the last one was 85 miles an hour. Do you think you can get up to 90, 95 without moving your body any faster?
Yeah, we can definitely. We'll do that right here. Okay, so I'm not going to add a bunch of turn. I'm not going to add a lot to my finish. I'm going to add a little bit more umph down through the hitting area right there with how we're transferring energy back into the golf club.
Yeah.
We're going to go for
90, 95. Let's see if we can get there. So we can see not a lot of body movement there. Very simple, good launch angle, 88.5. So we've seen 3 miles an hour straight away.
Okay.
And as a byproduct, how much extra carry? It's up to 217.4. So nearly, what's that, 15 yards?
Yeah.
So we're gaining easy to do distance. And this is the thing, guys, is as we get older, we have to explore different options. There is not one handbook saying you must swing a golf club like this, and as soon as you get to a certain age, you can't do it.
For sure.
I don't know that handbook, and if there was a handbook like that, I wouldn't want to read it. I want to have options, and that's what we're presenting here. So Trevor, what's your final takeaway? How would you summarize all of this up?
So where I would start is I would say setup, straight line, tilt, release.
Simple as that. I don't think we can make it any simpler.
I don't either.
So hopefully you guys enjoy these senior specific videos. If you do, give them a comment down below. You've got to go check out Trevor Salzman. Trevor, where can they find you?
So I'm on YouTube, TS Golf, Instagram. I've got my own website, Trevor Salzman Golf, and I coach online on Skillest.
So the great thing is Trevor is based here in Miami. So if you're local, you can fly in, please grab a lesson with him. He's helped me with my game, phenomenal golf coach. But also, no matter where you are in the world, with online coaching now, you can grab a lesson with this man. Trevor, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And guys, I'll see you in the next one.